All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Smart here, and I want to officially welcome you to day 7 of Tech Immersion. Tech Immersion day 7, and we've been able to see a lot of things since we've started this Tech Immersion. In fact, we have been able to dive deep into some of the technologies that are available in this era. We have been able to look at Django. We have been able to look at data analysis using Matplotlib. We have been able to look at CSS. We have been able to see animations. We need to see a whole lot of things from our day 1, and then this is day 7. And today I'm also delighted to tell you that we have another person on board today. He's a good graphic designer, and he's also a UI UX designer, and he's going to be showing us some things regarding UI UX, another technology that we've not even seen since the day 1 of this immersion. So it's going to be showing us a lot of things regarding UI UX, and then it's going to be building, just creating something small for us so that we can begin to see how to do a particular thing regarding his own feed. And I think he will be using Figma for us today. And regarding Figma, it's going to be building something. I think he called it an accordion menu. If you're into JavaScript and you're into web development, you understand your accordion menu can be created with your JavaScript, and all that. But now he is bringing it inside of Figma. You want to give us the design. You want to give us how to design something like that using Figma. I'm more than delighted to have him on board this afternoon. He's person of Mr. Pelumi. Mr. Pelumi, can you say hi?
Hi,
Yeah, good afternoon,
good
sir.
day, good day, everyone. Yes, good afternoon,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, good afternoon. We are really delighted to have you amidst us today. And today is going to be showing us a lot of things regarding Figma. And I am more than delighted to also learn, to also see how things are being done. Yeah, I'm so delighted. So over to you, Sam. You can just give us a brief introduction of yourself and then show us the final project of what you want to teach us or what you want to explain to us, and then you can start the project. Over to you, Sam.
Okay, good day, everyone.
Yeah,
I am
welcome,
Makinde
sir.
Pelumi by name. Yes, I'm a graphic designer and I'm also an UI UX designer. So today, without wasting much of our time, I will be showing you how to design an accordion menu in 30 minutes or less than 30 minutes. And there is a method in which whereby we'll be using in designing this thing and which I called auto layout method. And we can do this thing on XD as well, but I think there is an advantage when you use Figma because the method is even simpler and shorter than that of the XD. So this is what I'll be showing you today. And this is the final output of what we'll be doing today. And you can see this is an accordion menu. We have either one, either two, either three, either four, either four. Yes. And if you click on it, you can see the drop down, it comes down and it shows the detail. Then you can click on these two, either three, and the other four. You can make this one go back inside, and you can see that the drop down is a kind of smart animate drop down, whereby it comes down and it goes up on click. So, quick one, without wasting much of our time, this is the that of XD. This is an accordion menu on XD, and you can see we have menu 1, menu 2, menu 3. You can see it is dropping down as well. But on XD, we use more than 7 states. I would say frantically 8 states. And before you start with the first state, second state, third state, fourth state, at times you may even get tired. So let's start. The first thing for us to do here is to create a box. If you look at the final output, you can see we have a text here, we have our icon here. So let's start. The first thing is to click on your frame and you draw. You drag it out. Then you change the width to 40 pixel, 40. Then the height to 40 as well. Then you zoom in. So you click on the text tool and you type, let me have my header one. Header one. Good. Let me make this one capital. Then I bring it closer to this I like the two together and I give it an element. So the next thing for me to do now is to make this one bold, bold, because it is our header. Then after that, the next thing for us to do is to duplicate this, bring it down. Then I have my text. This is text content. Text content. Lauren Ipson Dolo Sit Ahmed. Good. Now I can drag this thing down here. Make sure that the tip of this text is at the edge here. Then it is extended to this edge, as you can see it. So the next thing for us to do is to click on this text and remove it from bold, make it medium. Good. Don't forget that this one is still on alignment. Then when you align these two together, you will press Shift A or you click on Auto Layout here. So good. After clicking on Auto Layout, I can now name this as my edge line and icon. This box is for the icon, while this is my header. So I name this auto layout as headline and icon. Then I have it here. So I can even drag it down there. Okay, good. So now I have my text here. Let me extend this text to, you can see the red signal here. So that's to show that this one is at the extreme end of this headline and icon. Then when I have it like this, the next thing I need to do here is to click on my header one and make it, the spacing should be 0. So that by the time I drag this one down, okay, no. So by the time I drag this down, right. So we remove it from fix and make it org. Remove it from fix and make it org. So this is an auto layout. Good. Then I click on this and the second one and this text. Then I make it auto layout as well. I give it Shift A. That is the shortcut. Then I have it like this. So the next thing for me to do is to reduce this icon to 24. To 24. Fine. Then now, when I click on this text, I can now change this to 0. You can see it has moved upward. And I can just give it 10. Then it comes down a little bit. Then the spacing here is also 10. And no, let me make this 18. And also this to be a 10 as well. Good. So now I have my text and I have my headline. Then I can now rename this to accordion menu. So this is our accordion menu now. Then the next thing for me to do is to now give this thing fill. Then I come here and I give it fill. I can change the color down to black or I can make it gray. I think black still okay. Good. So let me reduce my text content here to 12 to 15. Okay, good. So now I have this. Then the next thing for me to do is to draw my line. You click on pen and you draw your line. You hold shift down to be straight. Good. You click back on your and make this line. I cannot bring it inside. Control X. Then I click on this. Good. Then I can take it up and put it here. So if I should give this fill container, it will fill the container by itself. And this line, I can give it a color so as to distinguish it from the background color. If I should give it white, you can see I have white here. Then I should click on this accordion menu and I give it a radius, a corner radius of 25. Good. So this is not the final work. Then I need to style this thing. I need to style it to make it look like our final output. Then I come back here. I give it fill. No. Let's use stroke. Under this stroke, I can give it my red color. Then let me make it radial. This color, let me give it a touch of purple. Yes, I think purple is okay. So good. Now, as I have it, let me make it 2. Good. And let me reduce the opacity to 50%. Okay, let me still zoom out so that we can see what we are doing here. This is what we have, and this icon frame, I want to make it circular. Then I draw a circle. And don't forget that my frame here is 24 by 24. Then I need to make this one to be 24. The width and the height also to be 24. Okay, I give it purple color, some. Then let me zoom in into this. Now I cannot click back on my pen tool. Then I click, I make a kind of arrow shape. Then you can, if you look at it, it's precise. You can just use your eyes to gauge it and say, okay, this is actually accurate. Then you click back on your cursor tool and you try to move around to see whether it is, you can see it is aligned both horizontally and vertically. Then I still have more thing to do. I will increase the stroke to 2. Then I'll make this one round so as to be smooth, as you can see. Then I can zoom out 500. Good. Okay. Okay. Now I can group this thing together. Control G, you can group it together, or you can right click and then from here group or ungroup. So now if I should bring it here, it will come in. Okay. And I should delete this. You can see, and now I have it here. So you can see that it is moving and it is responding to the box we have here with the same pattern and the likes. Now let me move it up. Okay, I still have to do something here. I need to give this thing gradient color. Then let me bring down my arrow. Free to you add. You don't just click on this particular black content here. You have to add. You add on top. You add. You add. That's how you can give it another type of color gradient. Then let me click on this and give it red. Good. But I can make it gradient and I can use radial. Radial. Then let me drag this down. Let me bring this one here. Okay. So let me bring it down here. Hope you are catching up. Then I can now reduce it to 20%. Let me give it 30. You can see it's looking beautiful. So I click on this thing again. Then I still add another one to it. And this, I may give it the color purple to radial. And I can bring it here, take this one down here. Okay. So I change the direction of my gradient. Okay. After changing the direction, I can as well give it 30%. So this has to show that the black background should have the 100% opacity, while the gradient should have both 30% and 30%. You can also fine tune it to your taste. You can give it 50%, 50%, or any percentage you want. But this is what I want, and this is how I like it. So finally, we've already have our accordion menu. And the next thing for me to do now is to duplicate this thing. Or how am I going to duplicate it? The first thing for me to do is just to first, okay, let me duplicate it and have it separately. So it is here. Then on this accordion menu, let me make it a component. You can use Control K to make it a component, or you can just click on that icon to make it to create a component. Then I can add. Nice one. I've added another duplicate of the first one here. So after having it like this, I can now delete this. If you click on this text and I delete, you can see that this thing responded. That is why you have to use auto layout. If you don't use auto layout, it will not respond. Then I click on my line as well. Then I remove it. You can see it's awesome. Then I can now bring this thing up. Click here so as to reduce space. Good. Okay. Let me take this one somewhere. Not far and good. So the next thing for us to do here is to make it responsive so that by the time we click on this thing, it will come down, and by the time we click back, it will go up. But before I go into that, I need to make sure that this icon key changes by the time it drops down and by the time the content goes back up. So this is our drop down, and this should be our open state. Let me click on this icon and I can rotate it here like this. Or you can come here and give it 90%. No. You can come here and give it 90%. 180. Rather. Good. You can see. So let me now go down to prototype, because before it can respond, we have to prototype it. So this is prototype section. And under this prototype section, one thing you must notice that when people click on this text, it must not respond. Only if they click on this header or this icon, that is when the drop down occurs and then it goes up. Then I can click on this Good. And drag it down here. It changes to, then I change this thing to good. Then I make it smart animate. Smart animate. Then when user click on these two, then it must go to default and it must also use smart animate. Good. So I think this is awesome. All right. Then the next thing for us to do here is to create another frame. Let me use Mac Airbook Pro and I can give this background. You go back to your design and I can give it black color. Yes, I think black color makes sense. Then let me bring this thing inside. This is my color menu. Come back to your asset. My asset is still loading. And then when it's load, finish. To make it easier for you, as far as it is loading, this is the first state. You can make it open or closed. You can rename it as closed. And the second one, you can make it as open component when it is opened. Good. So my accordion menu, you can see that it has already appeared on my asset. Then I can drag it down here and put it here. Or you can just click on it and say insert instance. Then it will appear. You can see if you look at this thing on this black background, it's cool, right? Well, to make it visible, you can make it white, but at the same time, you can see. But at the same time, I think that black, it's cool. Or I can just try and reduce it down here. Okay. But I think the output it showed us the other time is using white background. Okay, without wasting time here. So I have it like this. I can also duplicate it to have multiple. Yes, good. So on this, then I can duplicate this as well. Put it here. Okay, then I have my first state and I can rename these headers. I can rename this header to header 2, then this one to header 3, and this to header 4. Good. But that doesn't mean that by the time you now start clicking here, these ones will now be dropping down. No. Then the next thing you need to do here is to highlight all these ones together and you give it auto layout or shift A. Good. You can see auto layout added. Fine. Let's go and check it out and see what we've done so far. Then you can use preview. We use preview. You can check it inside your workspace here and see how it responds. Good. You can see this is what we have here. This is what we have here. But to make it visible, let's go and use present. So it will take us to this page. Okay, it is still loading. All right, this is our page. You can see if I click on it now, you can see it drops down and it comes in. Look at how this icon, this drop down is going up and down. It's because we use smart animate. That's the reason why it is rotating like that and it's coming down. Okay, you can see because we are used auto layouts for these four headers. That is why by the time this one drops down, it pushes this one down as well. You can see, and I can also have it here. Okay, my bad. Let me move it up a little bit. No. Okay. Let's check it out. Good. You can see we have it like this. So I can click back. This is open and this is closed. Then I am closing this header 3. Then I close header 4. Then you can see that is accordion menu using in Figma using auto layout. I hope you enjoyed the the method used there, and I hope you understand it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I think we've been able to get a lot of things from that, and we've been able to see that we can create our accordion menu with we want to start, we can create our accordion menu with Figma. And I think I've been able to get a lot of things regarding auto layouts, then regarding your the components and the likes. Yeah, I think I've been able to get a lot of things. So thank you very much for that. So I don't know, is there any question for him? I don't know from others. Do we have any question regarding any part we want him to just, come again, or anything we just want him to, shed more light on? Okay, I'm not sure there's any. All right, in absence of no question, I really want to appreciate you. Thank you for coming around for Tech Immersion Day 7. And we've been able to see how to use Figma. And then we've been able to see how we can create our accordion menu. So I want to believe I can create my accordion menu too now. At least with all those things that I've seen, I've been able to understand some things, how, Figma is actually designed to work using auto layout, and then how we can do our prototyping to some extent. So I've been able to see all those things. So thank you very much for coming around. We hope to have you maybe for another time, maybe before this tech immersion runs out. We still wanted to maybe show some, other things. I don't know if you'll still be coming, and I don't know if you won't mind coming. All right. So thank you very much, sir, for coming around. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Have a
Yes, sir.
great day, sir.
And you too, sir.